Hi y'all, Erev Tov. Good evening. It is just about 7:30 Eastern Standard Time as I'm beginning this audio for East Penn Valley Christian Center International. And I decided to do an audio recording, although I'm hoping that my voice holds out. I'm losing my voice tonight. Um, so let's hope that my voice holds out. But I decided to do the audio in lieu of typing out a whole bunch of stuff and that this would be quicker and I could address some of the questions that I've been getting in my chat inbox on Facebook. And yes, this recording, I know I'm going to put it on GodTube because some of you listen to GodTube, some of you listen to YouTube. I'm going to be putting it out there, but this is geared towards East Penn Valley Christian Center International Facebook group. And recently there's been some questions that have come to my chat inbox, my personal inbox, and I'm going to try to address some of those and also touch base with y'all. One of the first questions that I want to address is someone asked me if there are rules for the group and where can they be found. Yes, we do actually have rules for the group, and they can be found under announcements. If you look to where the general feed is at the very top. Now, I'm not sure. I don't use Facebook on phone. Now, a lot of people have tried to actually message me on Messenger. I don't have Messenger app. What I have is when I come on the computer, I do have chat. Um, I probably, with doing it on the computer, I can actually maneuver a little bit better probably than the phone. From what I have seen on the phone. But I don't do Facebook on the phone. So sorry, guys. Um, I use my computer. So anyhow, what you'll find is if you're on our page, it will be at the top. It'll say announcements, and there are actually two announcements. One is the rules of the group, which are very few. And one of the biggest rules of the group is just to treat each other with kindness and dignity. We don't really ask for anything elaborate. One thing we ask is to keep the politics off the group. Unfortunately, that has caused such a great division throughout the world, actually, that we just don't need that within the body of Messiah. We need to come together as a whole. So that seems to be a touchy subject for people, and no matter what end they're on. So we just have asked to keep political debates off the group. So if you try to post those things, they're not going to make it on the group because it is group rules. So be sure that you know what the group rules are. And I think we've been very lucky. We have such a nice group of people. For as many as there are, people are very, very loving to one another and so willing to help one another, when people are needing prayer and such. So we really don't have, and praise God, we just really don't have vicious people coming on our group because, well, first of all, it won't be tolerated anyway. We won't tolerate people getting attacked or attacking other people. We've actually had a few people come from the outside. They were never members of our group, but we are a public group. So we've had some outsiders came on and did some nasty stuff and that got dealt with right away. So we don't allow people get harmed on our group. So again, that those rules are found under announcements. The other thing that's under there is something I started, something that was heavy on my heart, and something that I'm hoping that as a group we can get back to. And I'll kind of address that right here and now. It's a resource list. As we got to being like 40 plus nations, and I think we're now 50 plus nations, I kind of lost track after I actually wrote that original. People were coming on with a lot of needs, and we realized there's a lot of needs all over the world, including the United States. There are people that are homeless here in this country as well. So we do not have the money and the resources to be able to do anything at this point in time. Um, but what we can do is pool our resources together and find agencies that are already established that can actually give immediate help. That was my hope when I began that list. because I hear people's needs, and the compassion on my heart for people to be able to help them. um, those immediate needs needed to be addressed. So that is why that was started, and it's my hope that we can get a committee of people together worldwide. I mean, like like a group of people from Africa can start doing research in their different areas and bring together the names of those agencies that can be helpful. So we can have one big gigantic list, and this is not just exclusive that only East Penn Valley Christian Center can use. It's my hope that as we do this and we pull together as a body of Messiah, because we're a worldwide group. So as we pull together and we build on that resource list, that other ministries can come and say, "Hey, I know you have this resource list. Can we borrow from that list?" Absolutely, because that's what we're all about, and we're gonna hopefully have that list grow larger and larger. But it is a great endeavor. So not one person. As I started doing it, I'm thinking, oh, this is going to take me like years to do this because as one person, but I'm going to actually ask for volunteers to actually start um, looking at regions of the world and doing some research and adding to that list. I think we have a good start. I know there's been some people that have actually are going to use some of the Bible agencies that are on the list. And please, when you use those agencies that are on the resource list, if you could come back and let us know what your experience was with them so we can say yay or nay as far as referring someone to them. If you've had a really bad experience, chances are we don't want to send somebody else that way to actually have that same bad experience. So we want to have a resource list that is helpful to people and that they have a good experience and they can come back and say, hey, I really like this agency. They were able to send me 50 Bibles um, right off the bat, and I could actually distribute them to my congregation or whatever it is that you're looking at. So that is my hope for that. That was always my hope for that. So one at some point in time in the future, you're going to find that I'm going to ask for people to help chip in with that, and that maybe we can get some committees together and break off and start building onto that list, region by region of the world, so we can actually have good resources for our members so that if they're needing emergency food or they're needing emergency water, we can say, hey, here, look on the list under Kenya, or look on the list under Nigeria, or the UK here, that we have that resource list to actually refer to and people can get the help that they need. So that is my hope for that. So again, that's all I'm going to say about that. The other question that came up was, is posting open to everyone? And that answer is yes. Everyone is allowed to post on the group. Um, and we've actually in the rules we've actually set some guidelines again, like I said, keep the politics and please don't attack other people's ministries, whether you like them or not. We need to have respect for God's anointed. And if someone is in ministry, they are anointed of God. So let's not be attacking other ministries. Yes, we need to be discerning, but it is not our job to attack people's ministries. We'll let that up to God. We need to be about the Father's business and actually be looking at these at lost souls that are going to perish if we don't get the gospel to them. That is really heavy and should be heavy on all of our hearts. So we need to work together as a body of Messiah to get the gospel out to everyone and to bring them to the foot of the cross and do everybody is called to be an evangelist, in that sense, to share the gospel. That is the great commission of the church, and it's the great commission of all of us as believers in Yeshua. is to share that. As we grew, also, we it Pastor Null and myself are the only two pastors that are actually were admins on the group, and we were actually doing everything up to a certain point, and my schedule just got really crazy, and so did Pastor Knowles, and I said to him, I said, "I can't be here like I was because I can't. There's not enough hours in the day for me to do everything." So we have 3 moderators, and we are going to add to that moderator list as we keep growing because we don't want our moderators who are doing an excellent job. And please, um, give your thank yous to Rose and to Amanda and to Andrew who are doing such a top-notch job on our group as our moderators. They're our first 3 moderators, and we were very excited to actually bring them on board, and they're doing such a tremendous job um, as our moderators. So if you get to talk to any of them, give them a big thank you because they are doing a really top-notch job. And yes, we're going to be adding to that as well. And the other thing I'd like to do, and I know Amanda, I'm outing you here, is actually one of the people that actually first volunteered when we talked about this month ago, is to get a prayer group together. And one of my friends, Kathy, has also said it would be really nice to be able to have live prayer. Well, I'm looking into, it's funny, right after she said this, it's like after she said that, I got a notification in my email about setting up my own free conference um, call.com. Now we use freeconferencecall.com and for our classes. So I just, I thought, well, yeah, I never even thought about setting up my own account. But there is a way to do this also internationally. And I had thought about doing Spreaker. Um, but again, our right now our ministry has no funds. I can't even say limited funds. We have no funds right now. So we have to look at how we can do things on on a no budget. And then as we continue to grow on a shoestring budget, because really we don't have any money. So this is free. So this is something that um, I may look into doing. Now, if I'm doing Spreaker or SoundCloud, there's a cost, and we're not ready to do that just yet. So freeconference.com may be the way to go. And there's many of you with lots of great talent that I am thinking about being able to interview you. I know we have authors on the group, we have poets on the group, we have musicians on the group that it would actually boost what they're doing as well. So that's just something that I'm thinking about um, to be able to do that. And what happens is I think that recording, I have to look more into this. I think that recording turns into a YouTube. So it would be out there. And for those of you that have a YouTube channel, or those of you that, just say, for example, it's one of you that is an author that would want that interview to promote what you're doing, you would be free to have that. So it's just something extra that I'd like to do in the future. So that's something that I'm thinking of doing. But the other thing with that is I believe that it can be used as long as it's not abused. It can be actually used for like an open prayer room if you have access. Now, you can have access to that if you dial in the number, if you come on also. I think you can come on the phones, and you can come on computer. So I'm going to look into that a little bit more. There is there's an ability to be international. So, and it's free. So it's free streaming. So we'll see where that goes. It's not going to be immediate, but it's something that I'm going to look into. The other thing that I'm going to look into is probably closer to the summer, and I've talked to some of you about that because of all the little niches and glitches and problems that we have on Facebook. I used to run forums, and it's not very hard to put a forum together. It's timely though, um, where we can actually move and we can have do whatever we want to do on the forum. You can actually have your own section for those of you that have, and just say for those of you that do poetry, we could have a poetry section where you guys are featured, and there's a lot of possibility. Plus, they have their own advertising networks as well. So it's, it could be in addition to Facebook. But I really want to have a backup. Just like I have a backup to YouTube, I'd like to have a backup to Facebook because, we have such a nice group. So, and it'd be nice to keep everybody intact, which brings me to the next little issue of the little Facebook glitches. And I know I apologize, Peggy. I saw you were you were knocked off again on Facebook. I don't know why this is happening. Why, it just drives me batty. But I see, it's like we welcome somebody and you can't help but see what the number is, and the next thing you know, the numbers are fluctuating crazily, because actually Facebook is dropping people, and it's not us and it's not the people, because I know some of the people that it has happened to. So I don't know how to get around that. I really don't. And I apologize when it does happen. Just know that we're not kicking you off the group, but periodically, come on to the group page. I know that's a little hard for you to do. I think it's different for those of you that use Facebook on the phone. I don't use Facebook on the phone. Just so y'all know that I use my laptop, so I'm not on Facebook 24/7. Um, unless I fall asleep in front of my computer, which I've done that. So, or I have not logged off when I think I've logged off, and it's like, oh, isn't that amazing? I'm still here. But I haven't been here. So if you see that, oops, she didn't log off right. Because I'm not on Facebook on my phone. So but I know that Facebook looks a little different. I've seen Facebook on the phones. It looks a little bit different than it does on the laptop. So what you need to do is you need to actually come onto the group page, just periodically check to see that your little checkbox is off that says joined. Then you know you're okay. The other thing that I have mentioned, to know that you might be having a problem is if you're not getting messages. If you're not getting messages from the group, chances are you might have been unjoined by Facebook. And this is terrible that I have to talk about these things, but it is a reality and it has been happening. So, and I just don't know how to prevent it from happening. That's the thing. But, to make everybody aware that if it does, no worries, just come back on. I mean, if I see it, I'll reinvite you back on. If you see it, just say, hey, just hit joined and we'll get you right back on, no problem. Um, I don't understand it. The other glitches that we have are even our invites don't make it to people half the time. Because people, I might have invited somebody like 5 months ago, and then they get on. It's like, I don't know, it just stays in limbo for who knows how long. And it's like, wow, I forgot I invited this person, but that was months ago. That's really interesting that it's been out there that long. Um, so I don't know how they work all this stuff, and I don't know whether it's their spam rules, but it's really kind of strange. But I don't know. We work around a lot of the funny things that happen that we have no control over. So just bear with us on those things. All I can do is just say, bear with us, and we'll work around it as we always do. So that is about the little Facebook glitches. And there's probably more that I haven't even that I've forgotten about. So as they come up, I remind you guys, and that's why you see sometimes a post. Check heads up, check your status. You might have gotten booted off of here. and we have no control over it. And as the group grows, when it was small, we could kind of see um, who it might have affected, but I don't have a clue anymore. I really don't. Um, unless your name pops up as a suggested invite, it's like, wait a minute, I thought they were here before. What happened? And that happens. So I'm I don't know what to say about that. But if we go to another a backup system, I can guarantee you it doesn't happen there. Um, at least it didn't. I mean, I shouldn't say it's been a while since I've actually utilized any of those forums, but they're very nice and very well organized. And you won't have to be digging for, just say you liked a certain post and you wanted to save it and you forgot to save it and it got buried. With the forums, you won't lose them. Things are so organized there that they will be easily found. But that's something for the future that we will work on. The other thing that I wanted to mention to y'all, in case you haven't known, for the Messianic part of our group, I have started Bible readings. I try to post them. Sometimes I post them early. I try not to be late. I've been pre-recording them too because of my schedule. They're recorded live and uncut, but I try to keep like 4 ahead, so that way I don't miss a beat, and I don't want to skip a week now that we have started the Bible reading of the Messianic Jewish Family Bible Tree of Life version. So, and with some of the holidays coming up, like this coming week, I may actually post this week's. I have to upload them though. They're only in MP3 format at this point, so I will have to upload them and then put them to MP4, and then to be able to go to GodTube because they don't accept what YouTube does. It's everybody has their own requirements, so I have to upload to this and that, and it's a process. But I'm going to probably upload everything for this week's Bible reading a little early because Purim evening starts on Monday evening, and I have a teaching. It's a 5-part teaching that I already have ready on MP3 to be uploaded as well, to share with y'all. So that's what I'd like to do with that. And the other thing, and Pastor Noel and I are gonna talk about this hopefully live. I can't, he can get on live camera. I can get on live probably if he calls me by phone. And we were trying to figure out how we could both be on together, and that is probably one of the ways that we can do that. Um, there is an opportunity coming that we are going to actually be planting part of what we said we were going to plant 2020, our perfect vision, planting the church. We were looking at an actual building that I guess it wasn't meant for us, because it's already a church was ready to go. We just don't have any money for it. And unfortunately, it's sold, and this church is now going to be high-end apartments, which is very sad. It was perfect, would have been perfect for us, but God has other plans, obviously. At the moment, I do have hopefully an opportunity. I've presented it this past Sunday, to the congregation that I belong to. It's a Christian, it's a Sunday service, but I had asked if we could use it for Messianic worship on Saturday. So I will be actually hoping to start a Messianic congregation very soon, hopefully in May. We can get that started, and we have some local interest. So that is a plus. I eventually would like to be able to stream it online for everyone. At the moment, we have no money, so we have no equipment. I do, at best, I could probably cassette tape it and put it onto here and then upload it. We could maybe do it that way. At least you could get the audio of it, until we start building and growing and being able to do the things that I envision that we're going to do. but so that's where that's at for now. And that is my message. If there's anything more that I'll add, I can actually add a little type to it. And I want to wish you all a good evening. Shalom to all. And we're going to be entering into Sabbath. So Shabbat Shalom, actually, to those that are already in Friday as you're listening to this. And God bless everyone. And yes, when I say that um, this group is just a blessing, and we appreciate each and every one of you, and that is definite. And the other shout out I want to give to is Robert and Wendelin. Wendelin has been posting for us Pastor Paul's posts because Pastor Paul um, is a very favorite for many of our members and myself as well. And my schedule is not allowing me to be there live, and I don't want people to have to wait. And Wendelin has been so gracious to say to agree to post Pastor Paul's posts live. And Robert also does that as well. And Robert's also helped when I have not been able to be present um, for the live posting of El Shaddai's on Saturday because of maybe something that I have to be, appointments that I have to be at on Saturdays. Um, but anyway, thank y'all. And give them a shout out and thank our moderators. Our three moderators that I have, and Wendelin and Robert, who so graciously help us with posting the things that you all enjoy. So with that, I'm going to end this recording, and I hope that it will all upload. But y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon.